Mr. Lee.
Sure. A couple questions, but I want to ask first about, I want to return, I guess, to the indictment of John Ashe. And I wanted to ask, I'd asked you before, but I have more to ask about it, that the previous chief of staff of John Ashe, Paulette Bethel, is currently the number 3 official in Mogens Lykketoft's office. And as chief of staff, she's listed throughout the indictment and charge sheet in the John Ashe case. So here's what I wanted to ask. I've also become aware that there's requests being made to potential new PGAs, Cyprus and Fiji, to continue her in the employment as a D2 UN official. If a person is a UN staff member but works for the PGA's office, one, what is the status of their immunity from prosecution and testifying? And two, who can waive that immunity? Is it the Secretary General, as with other UN staff, or is there some special status for a UN staff member who works for the PGA's office?
Look, speaking not in relation to the particular case that you mentioned, because her employment and the employment of anybody in the PGA's office is up to the PGA itself, the Secretary General has the authority to lift the immunity of any UN staff member.
Does it seem strange to you that someone listed so prominently in the indictment remains on the UN payroll with can you describe the immunity that obtains? If, for example, the U.S. Attorney's Office wanted to speak to a chief of staff who went to Macau, who was involved in all of these
Listen,
actions,
I'm not going to speak to, I can't
What's a D2? A D2 generally.
I can't speculate to the case. I'm not privy to anything that the U.S. Attorney may or may not be doing. What is clear is that anyone, as far as I know, under the rank of Assistant Secretary General, which would include D2, such as myself, carries functional immunity. As a matter of principle, immunity is not there to block any criminal investigation. Maggie.
Steph, anything on Mr. DeMastura's smaller conversations that he's